The WNBA is really a soap opera at times. It seems like there's consistently something going on that really doesn't have anything to do with the sport at hand. And in this case, we're still talking about an incident from a few weeks back. And I don't think it would be blown up the way it has been if Caitlin Clark wasn't involved. Let's be real about it. But the latest chapter in the Christine Brennan, I guess, trial where the WNBA PA had come out with a statement trying to pull her credentials after she asked DiJonai Carrington about the eye poking thing with Clark. The latest chapter in that is Sarah Spain did an interview with Christine Brennan, and then after the fact reported that Brennan had filed a complaint to the WNBA about DeWanna Bonner approaching her or being confrontational in some way, shape, or form. That was the implication of the report, something that Christine Brennan denied. You can see it in these Twitter exchanges right here. Sarah Spain, in our interview, Christine spoke about an exchange with the Sun's DeWanna Bonner saying, "I would not call it heated. I would call it a person coming up to talk to me." Two sources have since confirmed that Christine filed a complaint with the league regarding the exchange. So important to note that in this interview, Brennan did not frame the interaction as confrontational. Brennan says here, "Hi, Sarah, this is inaccurate. It is false. I have not filed a complaint. I have not contacted anyone at the league. Your sources are wrong. You and I have had a good, long relationship, which is why I always enjoy speaking with you. Why didn't you call me before posting this?" Which is just going to heighten up the T area of WNBA social media, if you will. Now, let me say, both of Brennan and Spain would be qualified as my peers, I would say. Obviously Brennan is much more tenured, has been around a long time, is a legendary women's sports journalist. Sarah was around right around the same time that I was at ESPN. We sort of crossed paths in that way. I don't know either of them personally. So I have no, skin in the game, if you will. I'll just say this about the entire situation. Let's go back. I think everybody remembers why people were upset with Christine Brennan. She asked DiJonai Carrington if she poked Caitlin Clark in the eye on purpose. I wasn't a huge fan of the framing of Brennan's question. It felt a little accusatory. It felt as if she was almost speaking on behalf of, the people that are in the comment section sometimes saying, no doubt she poked her in the eye on purpose. However, with that said, I do think it was a fair topic to broach. It had become prevalent enough in the discourse and the zeitgeist where it didn't come out of nowhere. It wasn't just some random thing she was throwing out there. It was a chance for Carrington to get on the record about it. Clark was asked about it as well, if you recall. And so I don't think it was as offensive as everybody seems to make it out to be to simply broach the topic. I've seen, similar things in sports across the years, all different sorts of sports. I didn't love Christine either, like talking about the celebration, because to me that was clearly 3 to the dome. Even if Mabry mouthed whatever people have told me she mouthed, I don't care. That celebration would be 3 to the dome. It doesn't mean anything. Like, even if it was referenced later, it doesn't mean there was intent in the original incident. Regardless, the WNBA PA came out with a statement that to me felt like the clapback in the comment section was not very professional, but I thought we were past it and it was over with. There seems to be this issue with Christine in particular, and she is being used as an avatar for the Caitlin Clark coverage and the backlash to people talking about Caitlin Clark. And clearly, Christine is covering Caitlin Clark as the central focus of all of her work right now. And she's writing a book on Caitlin Clark. But that's not odd. I don't get the backlash to that. It's not odd. ESPN had a whole heat index when LeBron James went to Miami, where that section only covered the Miami Heat and LeBron James. Publications and outlets have done this forever. I mean, it's essentially a glorified beat. People get assigned to a certain team. In this case, really, she's covering a certain player, which means she's covering a certain team and everything that happens around said player and team. That to me is not offensive. And everybody's got to get over the notion that Clark is so much more popular than everybody else. Because I've argued for the positive coverage of the rest of the league. I've, campaigned for people to stick around. I've made the point of view where the ratings came out and they fell off, but they fell off to a higher level than they were before, which means more people are interested in the overall content. Hell, I'm doing a live later talking about the Liberty and the Aces and how fun it was to see the new fans involved. So I don't say that to bash the older players or anybody else in the league, but it's just a matter of fact. It's a matter of fact. And you're actually being journalistically incorrect if you don't pay Caitlin Clark greater attention, because Caitlin Clark is the subject of the most interest to the broadest audience. And that's part of the job as well, especially when you're, a media outlet that is producing content. With that said, that doesn't mean you disrespect anybody else or don't cover anything else. And I think Sarah has been far more on the side of, we got to make sure everything is, it's not just, that kind of mentality that's been out there. So it naturally positions them, even if they've been friends in the past, on opposite ends of whatever spectrum it is. Because I've never seen a league like the WNBA, like even like the old guard online yesterday was complaining about people making fun of Asia Wilson when she got eliminated. Like they've never watched LeBron James or the Warriors or any of these other teams, the Cowboys, whoever it is that gets made fun of. Teams that have won championships get made fun of. It's par for the course. Simultaneously, a lot of the legacy types seem to be both bullies and crybabies because they're always crying about something every single day. And when they're not crying about something, they're bullying people for the way that they consume something or the way that they think. And that's aside from any of the, toxic nonsense that's out there. But just the day-to-day discourse, which in a way becomes toxic, but you know what I'm saying. So in this case, if Christine Brennan is telling the truth, it should be easily verifiable. And I think I saw another report come out and say that they were able to confirm that she did not file a complaint. I don't know. You can, I guess, long story short, you can dislike how Christine Brennan covered that story. You can take her to task for how she covered that story. And I think that's fair. And people are allowed to have that opinion. At the same time, this is also a woman who's had a long storied career, and it now feels like she's being the center target of a lot of ire. And that ire, if I'm being real, only seems to be reserved for any topic that's in the Caitlin Clark orbit. And that ire never seems to be directed at some of the other topics and framing and, point of views and really garbage that I see out there as well.